Hey, it's Kley. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to another video. This is going to be another demonstration of my pedal board featuring the Atomic Amplifier. Just wanted to kind of run through some of my sounds. It's a little different than the last time I showed it off. It's a little more simplified, a little more refined at this point. So I just kind of want to run through some of the basic sounds that I'm getting and how I use it. And yeah, I really enjoy using this unit. I think this type of setup is really fun, just because it's so modular and versatile, and you know, the amp modeling is always really good, so you can build around that, and I just really enjoy it. So, first of all, let's start with the amplifier itself. I'm still basically running my core sounds. You know, when I perform live, I usually just use a Marshall Plexi and use my volume knob, but I also have kind of used the Fender Twin, the Fender Deluxe Reverb, the Bassman. Those 4 amp models really cover a lot of ground for me. So I just want to do a couple of basic sounds. This first one is a clean Fender Twin. Next, I've got a kind of a Marshall Plexi. This is really the bedrock of my tone. This is just an amp model that I really like, and I think it sounds really great. Then I've got a Deluxe Reverb. This is kind of a cranked up Deluxe Reverb. I'm using some EQ, so it's kind of got like almost a super reverb type feel. So those are kind of some of the basic core amp sounds that I'm getting. Again, I really enjoy those tones. Let's go back to the clean Fender Twin, and I want to just show off kind of the pedalboard setup that I've got with it. First up, I've got an overdrive slot. Now, right now I have a Caline Pure Sky. Hi, sweetheart. which I really like, but I also sometimes will use some other pedals, a Tube Screamer. I've got a Electro Harmonics, Soul Food, DoD 250. Got a lot of different pedals that can slot into this slot. Really, I just need something here to kind of give me some girth. I like the Pure Sky a lot because it's a very neutral sounding drive. It's got some nice treble bass EQ, so I can get it to match with just about any type of sound, and it just is very forgiving. Up next, I've got the Micropog. Now, I use the Micropog kind of in two primary ways. The first, I might use like a Plexi preset and turn the sub-octave up. Kind of like this, and I'll use it for some riffing. Just really, really fat. Then the second way I'll use it is more of in an ambient context. So then I'll actually turn the high octave up, keep a little bit of that low octave in, and then combine it with some other effects and get this kind of a sound. Yeah, just to get some of that almost organ type sound going on. Now we'll get to the amplifier itself. I've got 3 switches here, and I use them on an individual preset basis. There was a time when I would use the 2 buttons to increment or decrement presets, so just to scroll through, and then what I would do is I would just have different amp models. So if I wanted to switch amp models, I could do that, but now I just tend to use one basic preset, and you can scroll through amp models with this wheel. And then on the 3 switches, right here I actually have an overdrive sound. In this pedal it's called the boost, but I usually just use an overdrive. Then in the second one I have a modulation. I believe this is going to be a tremolo. Then in this third slot I actually use this for a boost, and it's technically after the amp sim, so you want to think of this as like a power amp line level boost. And I'm using a EQ but just for gain, and I give it maybe 6 dBs of. So it's just a really useful way if I want to pop out for solos. I don't need to necessarily like slam the front end with more gain. I can just increase my level there, which is a really useful feature. Okay, then we get to the volume pedal, which I put after the drive section, and I do that intentionally because what that allows me to do is when I'm doing swells, I don't have to mess with the input gain of the amp. Meaning if I'm using this Plexi preset, you know, if I use my as I get to the top end of the sweep there, it's actually just changing the amount of gain. Whereas if I have it here, it's just a pure change in level. And so I can have a pretty dirty sound up front and combine that with the ambient stuff for some really interesting textures there. So I really like this. Is also the Ernie Vault active volume pedal. And with the active one, I just really prefer that because then there's no tone suck or anything like that. It just has a nice buffer to keep my signal nice and strong and pure. Then we get to the Alter Ego X4 delay, which actually I love this unit. In my opinion, this is without a doubt the most cost-effective delay pedal on the market. I think I got mine for about 150 bucks on sale, and I absolutely love this thing. A couple of thoughts. Having 3 presets is just perfect for me. Any more, and I don't know if I would use them all, and then you get more complex. So just having 3 on your feet is just perfect. And having dedicated tap tempo is really great. Also, it has just the right amount of features without being too crazy, right? So it also has a looper. It also has, you know, you can program this with the app and really get in there in depth and detail if you want, or you can just rely on some of the stock presets. I mean, it's just a really nice sounding delay. Okay, now my preferences is my A is always going to be a dotted eighth and quarter note combined on a pretty clear digital delay, and it sounds like this. Then on my B delay, I just have a very straightforward. Then on my B delay, I have a. Then on my B delay, I have just a straight quarter note, but this one has got a lot more character modulation, and this one I actually dialed in using the tone print editor just to my taste, and so it's got quite a bit of modulation, but I really like it. A little bit darker of a delay, but it just sits kind of really nice and gives me kind of some ambience and space. So then my C delay is, I believe, the Space Echo preset, and it's just a very strong, heavy quarter note. So then that brings us to this Boss RV5. I use it for one thing only, and that is in the modulate mode for kind of a longer, more ambient sound. And I will frequently use it with this C reverb for this kind of ambient tone. And then I've got the Ditto looper. Pedal Power Plus 2 is powering the whole thing. And that's the whole board. Now I do run the amplifier on the wall ward here because it requires a little more power, but other than that, that's about it. Pretty great little board. I can get a lot out of it, and so I hope you guys enjoyed this little demo. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.